We move now on to another sub-item under item 11, strategy for the monitoring, evaluation, and identification of lessons learned. International assistance is one of the pillars of the international cooperation mechanism under the 2003 Convention that has been in operation since 2008. This strategy constitutes an important step for the international assistance mechanism of the Convention. Mr. Secretary, please, can you present this item to us? Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. This is an agenda item that we are proposing so as to present a strategy for the monitoring and evaluating the international assistance mechanism, which first became operational in 2008, but which we heard about earlier in the report of the international assistance projects, and which underwent some significant reform a few years ago in 2017 and 18 when a team was created. And I can safely say that the international assistance has increasingly become an important tool, on the one hand for supporting safeguarding actions at the country level, and on the other hand for obtaining useful information regarding the implementation of the Convention. Indeed, through the requests we receive, we see the interests of communities and states in terms of the Convention's implementation. So the Secretariat felt important to establish a systematic system for monitoring and evaluating the implementation of this mechanism to complement reports submitted by states receiving assistance. And the initiative, I remind you, is supported by, firstly, the recommendation of the 2021 iOS evaluation of UNESCO's action in the framework of the 2003 Convention, as well as by the General Assembly's decision at its 7th session to authorize the use on an experimental basis of an amount not exceeding 10% of the approved budget of each international assistance project to monitor and assess the impact of projects supported by the fund. With your permission, Mr. Chairperson, I would like to ask my colleague, Ms. Juliana Forero, to provide more details regarding this strategy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Thank you, team. I would like to start my brief presentation with the objective and plan actions of the strategy of monitoring and evaluation of the international assistance mechanism. The objective of the strategy is to establish a systematized approach whereby the monitoring and evaluation of each individual international assistance project will feed into the overall monitoring and evaluation of the international assistance mechanism. The goal is to better track the effectiveness of the mechanism in contributing to the implementation of the Convention, and to do so by aligning its monitoring and evaluation with the 26 core indicators of the overall results framework of the 2003 Convention, based on the recommendation 6 of the 2021 iOS evaluation. Planned actions related to enhancing monitoring includes, first, the ICH 04 forms for submitting and reporting projects will be revised to allow the collection of meaningful qualitative and quantitative data at the individual project level on sustainable development and including gender equality, among other areas. Monitoring should be undertaken by both the implementing agency and by the Secretariat, with the idea that communities and stakeholders involved in the project should play a central part in its monitoring, so that their concerns and aspirations can be taken into account. Actions related to enhancing evaluation will take place at the project level. Evaluation will be conducted by experts that the Secretariat will identify. A new evaluation form has been designed to support the strategy and to ensure common framework for assessments. Furthermore, an expansion of the Convention's knowledge management system forms an important part of the strategy in order to cope a large amount of qualitative and quantitative data. The enhanced system will serve to consolidate the combined results of individual projects as to better disseminate results, impacts, lessons learned, and good practices of the international assistance mechanism. Dear members of the committee, moving forward, the implementation of the strategy will start operating from January 2023 to evaluate projects finalized in the second semester of the current year. Revised ICH 04 forms will be published by the end of 2022. The financial implications of the strategy will be reported on a biannual basis as part of the financial report concerning the use of resources of the Intangible Cultural Heritage Fund. In sum, the combined safeguarding experience of different individual projects will make up the operationality of the mechanism in terms of this contribution to the implementation of the Convention as a whole. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
Thank you, Juliana. Now, I'm opening the floor, and I ask you if there is any request for the floor, starting, of course, by the committee members. I see none, so everything is clear. Observers, is there any request? Netherlands? Netherlands, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Netherlands would like to echo the first sentence of the document of item 11. International assistance is one of the pillars of the international cooperation mechanism under the 2003 Convention. We strongly support the strategy. Analyzing the impact of these projects will help communities to safeguard their intangible cultural heritage in the long term. The Netherlands would like to make two contributions. Firstly, the Netherlands calls upon the Secretariat to adjust the strategy on one part. We are very much in favor of giving communities and NGOs a more central role in the strategy. And not only the state parties, as is stated at the moment in the document under paragraph 13. Following this proposal, the implication will be that the whole process must be designed with this additional goal in mind. We would like to ask the Secretariat to use the rich data the strategy will produce to develop knowledge and tools that directly benefit the communities and NGOs. Secondly, the Netherlands sees interesting links between the possible information and tools focused at communities and NGOs coming from the strategy and the online observatory of intangible cultural heritage safeguarding proposed in the Article 18 reflection. We believe that this will strengthen the visibility and usage of the invaluable knowledge that will be the output of this strategy. We hope this link will be taken into account during the reflection of Article 18. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Netherlands. Now I'm giving the floor to Jamaica. Jamaica, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. As this is the first time Jamaica is taking the floor, we congratulate you on your able handling of this meeting, and we appreciate the hospitality of the Kingdom of Morocco as our wonderful host. We take note that international assistance projects are not only has a budgetary mechanism, but that it is instructive to all the key aspects of the ICH Convention, thus providing a toolkit with the information necessary for the safeguarding of the Convention. We look forward to the successful implementation in 2023 of the reflection. Jamaica and indeed much of the Caribbean has benefited from projects under this initiative, and we look forward to participating in the future reflections. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jamaica. Are there any other requests for the floor? I see none, so let's move to the decision. Draft decision 17.com11. We have 7 paragraphs. Can you scroll it, please? So, dear committee members, can we adopt it as a whole? if there is no objection. I see no objection, so I consider the decision 17.com 11 as adopted. Thank you very much.